DBD can seem tame when it comes to its horror elements. To fix that, today we will look at some more of the scariest, creepiest, and most disturbing parts of the game. Hey everyone, and let's get into it. There was something worse in the Red Forest, aside the Huntress. This was the Were-Elk, a creature which appears to have roamed the same forest that Anna did. What's so scary about it though is the possible theories that can stem from it. On the Were-Elk's back we can see Huntress's mask, suggesting the Were-Elk may have slain Anna. Quite a feat considering she took down squadrons of soldiers, making the Were-Elk incredibly deadly. The second is that this creature could be Anna. There's references and possible hints toward Anna being supernatural or a were creature of some kind. With the creature still humming the lullaby, it could also be a transformed Anna. The final possibility is it's the elk that killed Anna's mother, returning back for revenge after its death to now get Anna. All options are pretty terrifying. It's possible too that those who lived around the Red Forest were aware of this creature too, with a similar thing being depicted in a wanted poster charm. This could equally also be referring to the legends and theories about who Huntress is though. The unknown's victims we can infer based on the various phrases it says. We can infer there being townspeople, lost travelers, and dog walkers. However, we can also infer some more disturbing cases, like when Unknown is offering candy. Not only this, but it says very strange things, such as about dungeons long forgotten. Perhaps its victims are not just human, but also other creatures that may have appeared around the Greenville fracture. Unknown simply survived them all. This would explain the wild inconsistency between the voice lines and just how strange they are together. Clairvoyants are present in the realm in the form of Michaela and Yoichi. Both are able to seemingly see somewhat into the future. This is quite a disturbing concept, considering what lies ahead is death within the trials. Unlike the other survivors with wiped memories and little idea of what might come, these characters will know of what comes, leaving them in a state of constant fear. Michaela actually experiences this even before the realm, with her having visions of the trials and the basement, and potentially a character like the Trapper. Yoichi's foresight works a little differently, with him said to be able to hear the voices of the dead, who then warn him of danger. Therefore it's possible that Yoichi could be warned by survivors who have previously died in the trials, which is quite disturbing. Sable's contradiction is something that's maybe a bit debatable, but definitely has a factual basis. Sable is a character introduced after Michaela, and is said to be Michaela's friend, yet Michaela's lore never mentions her, but does mention other friends or roommate, Julian. This is pretty odd, with their names appearing on the Greenville statue, and the two of them clearly being close, and having a bond. Why doesn't Michaela mention her? It's pretty creepy and unsettling when you think about it. Going deeper, we could suggest that Sable isn't real, and Michaela never knew a Sable. Sable is a character obsessed with darkness and all things wicked, to an almost excessive extent. Therefore, it's a theory that Sable might be a creation of the entity, planted there and into the memories of Michaela, possibly to weaken her or manipulate her in some form, with her having the powerful boons. Either way, it's unsettling that Michaela's lore doesn't account for Sable, whatever theory you might attribute this to. Let me know what you think. Vampires seem to be a recurring thing appearing in the lore, one of the many fog creatures we've discussed before. Vampires in particular though appear to be getting ever present and more frequent. In the lore we learn of vampires, vampiric fog, and many other strange things. We've also seen a whole realm with a castle and a vampire living in it. Recently we also got cosmetics referencing, you guessed it, more vampires. This suggests a vampire rising of some kind, universe or multiverse wide, and potentially suggests a vampire may soon come to the trials too. Charlotte remembering Victor is quite a disturbing thing. After the death of her brother Victor, Charlotte decides to take and keep a few things to remember him. Seeing as he's slowly rotting and attached to her, she takes things that are quite unusual, mentioned in the tiny fingernail add-on. Pretty disturbing. The entity's power over already strong objects is something shown throughout the game. There are many powerful objects in the realm, but something really terrifying is the entity's ability to not only recreate these but also improve them. Objects like the Lament configuration, or the highly powerful crystal shard that imbues Hux with superior intelligence, or the Ouroboros file, an already powerful BOW. All of them the entity can manipulate but also improve by making it iridescent, showing just how powerful it is. All of these highly advanced, powerful items, and it can recreate them all, and better. Doctor is getting overloaded with energy. This is something visible in his tome cosmetic, seemingly from the massive energy flowing through him and a combination of other substances. Doctor becomes overloaded with the energy and falls to the ground, clutching his head. It's quite a striking image and definitely shows how out of control he has become with his experimentation. He's further shown to swing at the air with this skin, revealing that he too may be having hallucinations of some kind, some which to even him could be scary, and I don't even want to imagine what would be scary to a character like Doctor. The actual unknown and the true form of the creature can be seen during its mori, at least seemingly. We can see what the true reality of the creature is, and what's hiding within, being this tentacled type being, with them appearing from within the twisted body. It likely only reveals its true form here due to it being the survivor's final moments. There is nothing left to hide or deceive. This could further reinforce the possibility of the unknown originating from the fog, with monsters in the fog described before to have tentacles. We even see a tentacled type monster, although this likely isn't the unknown's form, but another tentacled mass, probably. The plague's attempts to rid the city of the plague are more than we just mentioned before with the method of using worms on herself to cure it, but for the wider city, in this cosmetic we learn that she made a lot of sacrifices, particularly of rams, in order to try and appease the gods. Her god in reality being the entity, which probably did enjoy these acts of devotion, but equally did not cure the plague. It's quite a dark cosmetic with a storyline throughout its pieces, which is overall quite disturbing. The Coldwind silo can be seen on the Torment Creek map. The story behind this silo is quite disturbing. In its lore we can read about the silo toppling over during a storm in 2003, revealing a creepy discovery within some slurry, likely put there by Billy. Whatever else could be found around Coldwind Farm, hidden away, especially after it was split up and sold off in the real world. I wouldn't want to be one of its buyers, that's for sure. Clown's secret recipe is something seen and referenced a few times in Charms and is quite disturbing, with him then selling them in some cases too, maybe for some money to get by. Guy just keeps getting worse. The growth on MacMillan is something you may have seen in passing whilst on the map. It's this big strange mass on top of what I think is a water tower. Well, we now know what it is. It's seemingly an entrance to the void, the endless pit of despair of the entity's realm. In a cutscene we see the observer opening the mass and entering the void through it. A pretty crazy revelation, and disturbing reality that has been sitting there the whole time. It begs the question too of whether this could be a route for the survivors to get out of the realm. The only reasoning I could argue for this not happening is how are they going to reach this point mid-trial, or know to do it in the first place. The darkening seems to be some sort of strange natural type of event that occurs within the entity's realm, with it bringing a very cold and everlasting frost, which is said to be from lost realms. This could possibly be a world the entity destroyed by means of an ice age of some kind. This seems to be a similar type of event that may happen or occur regularly, a bit like the blight breaking out and infecting the whole realm. Icy winds seem to recurringly blow toward the trials or the areas where survivors and killers reside. A similar thing happens with Night when a creeping ivy consumes him, creating this cosmetic. It seems many destroyed worlds and their means for destruction sometimes find their way through the fog and to the characters, changing them in strange ways. Bloodsense map is a map added with the Blood Moon event. The map is interesting as it's said to be a blood-stained piece of parchment containing a strange power. What's stranger though is that it leaves behind a pool of blood when used. This is disturbing and creepy in itself, but further suggests there's something more here. The wording used, and from what we know of the entity, it seems possible to me this map is actually alive in some way, or possibly gains its energy from other fallen survivors and the blood left behind in the trials. This same effect seems present within the prestige weapons of the killers, with the blood veins pulsing as if they're alive. We know that the entity is capable of keeping something alive with just a part of it, exemplified in a few ways. The very soul therefore of fallen victims could remain still in the prestige weapons, and also this map. The regular iridescent map is also super creepy, by the way, if you read that description too. There is a secret video that plays after buying Sadako and owning her for 7 days. Upon loading up the game, you will be met with a unique starting screen, depicting an entirely different video which recreates the cursed tape from the Ringu film. This is quite creepy and disturbing when it happens, just due to it being so unexpected. I remember when I watched this after purchasing the chapter, and I was left a little speechless and just like, huh? What happened? Did the game just bug out or something? A very cool addition. The patients of Crotus Prenn know Nurse's fate. This is a very creepy fact and one which comes from a few sources. Basically the idea is just that the patients of Crotus Prenn, the asylum where Sally worked before the realm and later massacred, knew what was going to happen to her. This tome lore entry has a patient screaming out and asking if the trial has begun, a possible reference to Nurse later becoming what she does, screaming in the trials as she blinks. We then also have this holiday cosmetic, which tells the story of a patient drawing a creature drifting around draped in a long robe, with this cosmetic named Flash Forward. Potentially this could further suggest that all of the patients of Crotus Prenn are there due to being influenced by the entity, putting a very dark and creepy spin on the entire place. The entity can do just about anything to the characters. This is sort of an ongoing one, but one which was further established with the event My Little Oni. We can now see the entity's ability to change the characters physically, even their physical size and sounds they produce. A disturbing look into the possibility and power of the entity. Meet Your Maker may have been caused by the entity. The world of Meet Your Maker, another behavior game, is set in a post-apocalypse, where the remainder of humanity is clones who serve a creature called the Chimera, finding genetic material to feed and evolve it to one day save humanity. There are Meet Your Maker things present in DBD, such as the event and some charms and weapons. It suggests that the entity could have possibly caused this apocalypse, with it sort of loving to do that. Some artworks may even depict the world of Meet Your Maker before the game even released. It's further suggested the entity may have destroyed and consumed this world. It's shown with the presence of the Chimera charm, which shows the Chimera's tube to have its glass removed, meaning it is probably dead. Not only this, but one of the clones, Harvey, is dead, at the hands of Wraith presumably, and has now been made into a weapon for him. This suggests the killers could have been dispatched to this universe or realm to finish off the remainders of the humanity there. A pretty dark and unsettling thing to think about. One of the most disturbing things the entity has ever done though is with the Tanuki that is visible on the Yamaoka estate realm. Upon finding it and going, "Ah, so cute, such an angel, oh, just look at how..." No!